Hello, I wanted to show you how to set up a graph for the mixture of cyclohexane and the unknown A. Now, as the temperature, as the time goes on, it gets colder and colder, right? So I've graphed time here, and this is arranged so that we have the x-axis here in this column, and I've arranged the temperature here. Now, remember, you're supposed to read it every 10 seconds, so I've punched in these values. An easy way to type in all these values is to do a formula. So you position your mouse here, you type the equal key, and then you select the time equals 10 seconds, okay? And then you type plus 10 and you hit the enter key. And so what that's going to do is add 10 to the cell above it. Now what you can do is position your mouse very carefully on the bottom right-hand corner of this box here, and it changes it into a plus sign, you see? And you want to click and drag that down as much as you need, okay? And that's going to increment this by 10 seconds. So that's really easy. Now for the temperature, you've just got to type that in. Now remember, my hand might be in the way of the video and you might not get the first reading or the second reading, or maybe even the first and the second. It's okay. And then what you want to do is select these two columns. You could even select the labels if you want. You select these two columns, and then you're going to insert a scatter chart. So you want to click left mouse button here on insert, and then there's this chart section in the very middle. There's all these little pictures, and you want to choose this scatter plot here, and there's a little drop down arrow, okay? And you want to choose the upper left hand corner, okay? And that's going to be your scatter plot. Now when the mouse is positioned maybe in this white area here, you can see how you have these movement arrows. You can drag that up to the side here a little bit, okay? And you can enlarge it if you like, okay? Now this is a terrible plot because it's graphing the temperature from 0. The lowest temperature here is only 14 degrees, okay? So what you want to do is select the numbers by left mouse clicking, okay? Not these horizontal, but the side here, all right? And then what you can do is you can look at the axis options, okay? And you have the vertical axis here, and then the vertical axis major grid lines. So anyways, if you double click here or you single click, it opens this window here, okay? Now, I don't use Excel much. I use a Mac actually with all my stuff. So I've got to hunt around for this. Now, if you if you left click on this very right option here, which says axis options, and then you choose axis options, all right, you can see that it's automatically setting the minimum to be 0. What you want to do is look at your data and then see what your minimum is. It's 14.2, and then you want to just round that to an even lower number, 14.0. Okay, so if it's 13.8, go to 13. So I'm going to truncate this to 14 and type 14 with the keyboard and type enter, okay? And now that's a better graph. Now also you can see how the axis here is going all the way to 350. It really doesn't show, you know, there's a lot of empty space there. So you want to make this maybe go to 220 or so. So again, you want to set this time the maximum. Going from 0 is fine, but you want to don't go all the way to 350. You want to go to like maybe a time of 220 or so. Okay, so you want to type that in, and now your graph's kind of like zoomed in on the data part. Okay, now the idea for the mixed mixture is that you have this first region where I wanted to show you how to create axis labels. Okay, so you want to click back on your graph. Okay, and over here on the very upper left hand corner, you have add chart element. So you want to click on this button here, and then you want to choose axis titles, okay? And then we've got primary or horizontal, and you can see how this window has popped up here, and it says axis title. And now you can double click in here, or just delete all the text, and then call this time, and then it's going to be in minutes, okay? So the axis labels always have a capital letter, so time with a capital T, and then in parentheses, MIN is the abbreviation for minutes. We want to do the same thing for the horizontal axis. You want to do axis titles, and you want to choose the primary or vertical, okay? And then again, double click, triple click, whatever you can to select everything and delete it. And this is going to be called temperature. Okay, temperature. And then this is going to be in degrees Celsius. Okay. I don't know how to superscript well on the PC computer, so I'm just going to type capital C and then just put a little parenthesis there. Okay. Your chart title always shows up no matter what, so you can triple click this, and you can put you can type whatever you think the graph is. This is a cooling curve of cyclohexane and my unknown. Okay. You don't want to leave it chart title. That's just too vague. All right. Now, what we want to do is find this intersection here. Okay. Remember how there's maybe these first 3 data points make kind of like a trend line going down. Okay. And then it's not very clear where this data is, but I would say maybe this point that I'm pointing to, point 90, 100, 110, 120, maybe this point 130. Make a second trend, okay, and then you want to look for where those 2 trend lines overlap. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we can't just do a curve fit on this because it's going to fit the whole data. We want the first 3 data points. Okay, so what I'm going to do is grab these first 3 data points. Okay, and I'm going to I'm going to use Control C and then Control V to copy and paste those first 3 data points. And then I'm going to just call this, I'm just going to call this the first part. Okay, so that's the first trend line there. Okay, now if you select this data here and then you do Control, press the Control key and hold it while you shift and drag, you'll just select those 2 portions. Okay. And then if you insert a graph, let me see something here first of all. Yeah. I think that's a better way of doing it, okay? So now that we have the first few data points here highlighted for us in separate notation here under a column called first, I'm going to do the same thing for second. And what I'm going to do is pick out these data that kind of form this linear region here. Okay, so I'm going to choose from I think 90 to maybe 120. Okay, so here's 90 and here's 120. So I'm going to select 190 through 120 and type Control C. Okay, that copies it. You can see that dotted line there, and then type Control V to paste those in. Sorry, I'm going to type Control V to paste those into the second column. Okay. Now I'm going to delete this graph now that we kind of know how to do it. The way you delete the graph, you select on it and you press the delete button on your computer. And now if I graph this whole region here, okay, I'm going to once again go on to the Insert tab, choose Scatter Plot, type that in. Okay. And again, I've got to fix the chart, so you can call this cooling curve. Okay, that's a very bad title because it doesn't say what it is. Over here, we want to insert the labels. So we want the axis title to be time in minutes. We want to insert the axis labels here, temperature, C or degrees C if you know how to do it. Okay. Now we have 3 different things on the same graph. We have the whole data in blue. We have the orange, which is the first section, and then we have the gray, which is the second section. So what you want to do is do a curve fit on the orange here. Well, first let's fix the labels here. Remember how the bounds weren't really good, so we want to go from 0 to we want to go from about 14 to 20, right? And then for the other axis, we decided we wanted to go to a maximum of about 220 or so. Okay. All right. Now we're ready. Now we're ready to go. So I'll put that right here. Perhaps we can yeah, see that a little better, okay? Now, when you click on a label, you can see what it's selecting. It's selecting all the whole column. Let's just delete that there. Okay, so when you select on this label, you can see how it's selecting the whole, the first column, okay? And when you're selecting the gray, it's selecting the second column. And then when you click on the blue, it's selecting the whole data, which is the temperature, okay? I'm using Excel 2016, by the way. So if I click on the orange here, okay, it's only selecting those data that comprise that first 3 data points, which is the first linear curve, okay? And what you want to do is do a curve fit of this. So you do that by this drop down here, okay? And you want to choose, let me see, where is this? You right click actually. Yes. Now that we have our graph here, you can select the graph, okay? And when you select the orange, those 3 data points, which is just, it might be different color on your computer, that's the first 3 data, okay? And you want to right click on your mouse, okay? And then you want to choose add trend line, okay? And what you want to do is choose linear, all right? And you want to display the R equation on the chart here. And you want to display the R squared, might as well, okay? And it's off the screen here, but this is going to be the trend line for this data point. You can see how it forms a nice, beautiful line, okay? I've made this data up, but you want to select the data that you think is going to be on that line. You perhaps could even pick this second one here, but it's not critical. All right, next what we want to do is right click on the gray. The gray, remember, is this second linear portion, and you want to click add trend line, okay? And again, you want to do linear, and you want to display the equation on the chart and the R squared, and we'll just drag this up like so, okay? And you can see here how there's a nice kind of a linear section that encompasses, dang it. So you can see how there's this nice linear section here that encompasses the gray area, and it kind of goes off to the side here, okay? And what we're looking for, it's very important to recognize this, is that we want to look for the intersection between these 2 lines at that point right here. So it's a hovering point in the middle of the graph, and we want to know what that temperature is, okay? So you can read this off the graph if you want. You can see that it's going to be about 15 point maybe 3 degrees or so. You can do algebra to find out what the intersection of those 2 lines is, and you want the y value of the intersect, not the x value, which is going to be some arbitrary temperature like 60 degrees or something like that. So yeah, so that's how you find out where your melting point or freezing point of the unknown mixture is. All right.